shot in both legs and both arms. So that's going to affect her career a little bit. But she's strong. She might come out of this and be a better ball player. But the ball playing ain't the issue. It's as long as she come out of this and be back to where she was. And that's the main concern.
Breaking news now. A high school All-American basketball player and USC recruit was shot multiple times over the weekend. Aaliyah Gales is currently recovering at a Las Vegas hospital after 2 emergency surgeries Sunday morning. USC's top recruit of the 2022 class was at a North Las Vegas house party on Saturday when someone opened fire following a fight. Gales was one of the 4 people shot. Thankfully, all of them survived. The shooter has not been arrested.
Her parents say she's recovering from 10 gunshot wounds, and miraculously, she's in stable condition tonight. Gales is a 5-star recruit, ranked number 8 in the nation by ESPN. Police say as of yesterday, the suspect remains at large and declined to share any updates today.
She's pretty much sedated. The later in the evening she woke up, she was responsive a little bit. The doctor said she did all the commands that they needed her to do to show that she's right on, schedule.
I'm really lost for words right now.
The people that did this, everybody know. Everybody know. If you was at the party, you know who did this. You have to step up and say something. Multiple people got shot in this situation, and it can happen next weekend too. So you guys got to step up.
A 17-year-old Bayview High School student with a month-old baby shot and killed Easter Sunday. Police say this was all a case of road rage. Fox 6's Bill Miston joining us exactly where it happened at 29th and Cortland. Bill, you spoke with the girl's mother?
That's right, Mary, and she says, obviously, she's at a loss as to what would cause a person to pull out a gun, start shooting, all because of what may have happened while driving down the road, and in this case, taking the life of her daughter, Tiana Covington, who's being remembered as an ambitious student, loved by her family and the mother to a newborn baby boy.
Right now, all I see is her in him. So that's what's keeping me together. That's what's keeping me together.
Tony Ivy says she's still trying to make sense of it.
I ain't in a forgiving mood right now. They need to know that. So right now, my faith is all chopped up.
Easter Sunday, her daughter Tiana Covington posting a picture to Facebook of her newborn son, Kiwan, his first Easter. 2 hours later,
shots were fired during this incident.
We heard a loud noise, so I got up and looked out the front door, and there was a van turned over in front of my house.
And someone was stuck inside, not moving.
So I went and got a hammer and bust the glass out.
It was Tiana.
I kept calling her, and she wouldn't answer. And usually she'll answer. I knew something wasn't right.
Tiana's mom, Tony Ivy, was right. Police say Tiana was shot by someone while riding in that van. Why? Police say road rage.
So if I am live, I want them to see me. I want them to see the hurt they did. They took my child away from her child for some stupid.
And now, a mother without her daughter. A baby boy without his mom.
It's whether you turn yourself in or, because trust me, they too stupid to not get caught. I hope they turn themselves in before they get caught out here in these streets, because that'll be another wasted life.
That breaking news. Police are investigating a deadly shooting in Fair Oaks. There are 2 crime scenes, one at Fair Oaks Park on Madison Avenue and the other at the intersection of Madison and Fair Oaks Boulevard adjacent to the park.
Well, the Sheriff's Department is calling the shooting targeted, and both of those scenes are very close by. You can see the park just over there. Deputies explaining that a shooter ran across the street and was later shot himself. Now, 2 crime scenes, both with a lot of innocent people around during the time of this gunfire. There were kids, parents, and neighbors who witnessed these shootings. Now, this happened just before 6 p.m. The park was busy with kids and families at a softball game nearby. Witnesses tell me both men shot were attending a volleyball game at the park. About 50 people alone were watching that game when the gunfire started. The Sheriff's Department tells me a shooter walked up to a group of men and started shooting one person. Witnesses say they heard several gunshots, saw the shooter stop for a moment and turn away from the victim, and then shoot the victim again. Now, the victim died at the scene. As people ran away, detectives say the shooter ran towards Madison Avenue and Fair Oaks Boulevard, where the second shooting happened, outside of a nearby apartment building. Investigators explain a person from the group that was targeted followed after the shooter and then shot him. That man was transported to the hospital, where he later died.
When I got here, literally 3 minutes later, I walked, I don't know, maybe 100 yards, and I heard the gunshots. And I didn't see the shooter, I don't think. I saw somebody running, but it was so fast that I'm not even certain. And then everybody started running from the park, scared, and so I was hiding over in some tree area over here. And then I heard about 12 more shots coming from Madison Avenue.
I spoke to another witness who was walking with his child by the apartment complex, and he said he saw the second shooter get away in a car. I talked to friends and family of both men involved. They tell me they do not know what prompted this shooting. Now, tonight you can see investigators still here on scene. They are still looking for one shooter and working to determine a description of that person. This is a joint investigation between Citrus Heights Police Department and the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department. They plan to be here on scene for several more hours going over all of this evidence.
This is really, really tough for the entire community, and you're going to hear heartbreaking testimony from a neighbor we just spoke to in a short time. But first, I want to give you a sense of where we are, where this tragedy happened. A 4-year-old boy and 3-year-old girl found unresponsive, and ultimately they died after drowning in a pond. And you should be looking at the map right now to give you an idea. Their home is off of Lake Hughes Road in this rural community, unincorporated town of Lake Hughes. It's northwest of Palmdale, very rural actually. You know, the Pacific Crest Trail just moves right through this area. The home sat on 12 acres of land. And the sheriff's homicide lieutenant who's on this case is explaining what happened around 5:30 last night.
The children were in the backyard. Mother was inside preparing dinner. The information we have is that the father was at work. There's an older sibling that lives at the location too. Apparently, the mother had told that older sibling to tell the children to come in. A few minutes elapsed. She went outside and then could not locate the two kids. That's when she summons a neighbor and immediately started looking for the children, and then they were located.
The children were airlifted to Antelope Valley Hospital. They were pronounced dead just a short time later, about 2 hours apart. Today, I've spoken to family, friends. They say the parents are broken. They don't know how to move forward in the face of such unimaginable loss and pain. And a neighbor I spoke to told me this.
It's just so sad. I mean, we heard the helicopters last night, and we assumed the cops were looking for someone like a prisoner or something like that. So we locked the doors, and when you wake up, and you hear that your neighbor's kids drowned, it's just sad.
The pond was about 30 feet from the house, 2 to 3 feet deep, and investigators say there was no trauma or foul play. Nothing like that suspected in this. It just appears to be a really tragic accident, but they're going to investigate alongside with the Department of Children's Services and just figure out, what exactly happened, then decide whether or not any charges should be filed in this case against the adults. The family friend we spoke to told us that older sibling, who sadly witnessed a lot of the aftermath of this tragedy, is now staying with a relative while the parents figure out their next move.
Disturbing video shows a man exposing himself to a salon full of women, then getting away without being arrested.
The police station is just 5 minutes down the road, and again, a salon full of gals left helpless, essentially, as some guy does something unsavory at the front door. Shame on him. It takes Peeping Tom to a new level. Video shows the moments a man menaces employees at a Long Beach hair salon while multitasking.
All of my coworkers were sitting here at the table, and we were just minding our business. Comes in, asked for a haircut, didn't quite get what he was trying to say, headed out, sat in our chairs right behind us.
Fiona McLaughlin says the man waited outside on one of their chairs for 10 minutes before doing anything.
And from there, the public indecency incident happened.
And public indecency being he just was...
Like just fully publicly masturbating in front of the salon.
They called 911 right away.
We called the cops 10 minutes later, and he was still going. And we called the cops 10 minutes after that, and he had just departed. And the cops didn't show up for another 10 minutes.
We get it. These calls come in all the time. This isn't a big deal to them, but to these guys on that day, that was something nobody's ever seen before.
She and her employees understand the police have a lot on their plate, but their forte is extensions, not crisis management.
Like, you just want to go hide. Like, you don't want to deal with it because it's so gross and disgusting.
They're upgrading security measures, but hoping the response can arrive a little quicker next time.
And the fact that he was watching them and videotaping them watching him was like all part of the sick part of it, you know? So whatever I have to do to keep them safe, that's what we're going to do.